as a thread object. Okay, if we set this class as a thread object, we must type the implements runnable beside the worker class, like this one, implements runnable or extends thread. There are two methods for creating a thread object. By using the first method, we can use as implements runnable and extends thread. Okay, I will run my project. Wait. As you can see right here, I create a three thread object, Ani, Budi, and Tony. Then Ani, Budi, and Tony can run at the same time, right? So Ani, Budi, and Tony run in certain distance. Okay, like this one. So first Budi running 8 meters, then Tony running 7 meters, and Ani running 5 meters. Then at the second round, Tony run 7 meters again. So now Tony at in the 14 meters distance. Then Budi run 12 minus 8, 4 meters. Then now Budi at the 12 meters distance. Then Ani before Ani running at the first round, Ani running at 5 meters, right? And the second round, she ran 2 meters. So now she is in 7 meters distance. So yeah, as you can see in worker class. Okay, maybe we will start at this class. I create a three object of thread, right? The first two object I use implements runnable because I use worker class. As you can see right here, I use worker for creating Ani and Budi, right? Then I create another thread object and I give the name of this variable as C, and the type of C is worker thread. Then I will create another thread object and I will give the name of that object as Tony. So I have three thread object. Then I want to run this object at the same time. So if we don't implement the thread object, if we, as you can see right here, if I first I type I.stop, then if we not implement the thread the thread object, so B will start after A ends. Okay, then C will start after B finish on the finish run. Yeah, ends the run. Then if I use the thread object A, B, and C, like as you can see right here, so A, B, and C will start at the same time. So that is the differences between the thread object and regular object. So do you understand? Any question?
No.
No. So yeah, that was the model of, yeah, the concept of the thread object. So we can create more than one object. Yeah, Adrian.
So I don't understand why two worker A and B and C there's a different object.
Yeah, it's because
C is worker thread.
Yeah, right. Then yeah, I will move on the worker class first. Okay, worker class and worker thread. Actually, that two object is a thread object. Okay, because like I was explain on my videos, if we want to create a thread object, we must implement runnable beside our worker class, because I want to make this worker class as a thread class. So I also want to create the worker thread class as a thread class too. So there are two methods to create that class as a thread class. I can use the implements runnable or extends thread. So actually this is the same object, A, B, and C is a thread object, and A and B, I use a first method for creating a thread object. I use implement runnable for worker class, right? Then for a C object, a Tony, I use the second method for creating a thread object by using the extend threads. It's the same. It's just, yeah, you can choose one of these. You can use extend thread on or implement runnable. So, but if you want to more, I recommend you to use extend thread because it's more simple than the implement runnable, because inside the extend thread we don't need to create a start method. Okay, maybe any question from you, Adrian? Because if you haven't watched my videos, I also explain about the what is the inside of this worker thread class and also the worker class. Because if we create a thread object, we must inside this class, inside this thread class, we must create a run method, right? Okay, run method is run continuously. Yeah, it's run every time until it breaks from the while loops. Because I haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Because wait. Because I create a break condition if the distance still less than 100, it's still in this looping, inside it's this while looping, right? So if the distance is more than 100, it will break from this looping. So this thread object will not run again. So yeah, maybe Adrian, you still don't understand why we should create.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, then yeah, we will move on to the worker project again. So yeah, that's why we should create a thread object, because we want to create more than one object that can run at the same time. If you don't implement the thread object just a regular object or regular class, you cannot run that class at the same time. So we should we need to create a thread object for creating that we have more than one object and we want to run it at the same time. So we need to create a thread object. So there are two methods for creating that object, for creating the thread object by using extend thread or implement runnable. As you can see the differences between implement runnable and extend thread, because inside the extend thread we don't need to create a start method, right? If we move to the worker class, if we use implement runnable, so we need to create a start method inside this class. Yeah, that is the differences between the implement runnable and extend thread. But inside the run method, it's the same, because yeah, A, B, and C it's same. It's a worker that can run with a random distance. So it is same method, run method inside the extend thread and implement runnable. It's same, just the differences it's just on this method, start method. Okay. Yeah, I recommend you to create a thread object by using the extend thread, because it's more simple, because we don't need to create a start method. You know, when we implement when we inherit something from the parent class, so we can inherit every method from the parent class, right? So I don't know, maybe inside the thread class it has a start method, so we don't need to uh, worker thread it's already inherits the start method from the thread class, right? So we don't need to implement, we don't need to create a start method again. So yeah, that is the difference between implement runnable and extend thread. Yeah, maybe any question from Mushafa or Faros? So yeah, every thread object has a priority, right? As yeah, if you have watched my video, every thread object has a priority. So what is the meaning of priority? Yeah, it's like when we have a tree, maybe because inside the worker project, I create 3 objects with the same priority, right? 5, 5, and 5. Actually, we can set the priority from 0 to 10. The larger priority, so that object will be run will run firstly. So yeah, if we create object with a higher priority, so that object will be, yeah, we will start at the first time firstly. Okay, so maybe we can set another priority right here. So yeah, it depends in our computer, because I also use the wait, I also use inside the run method, I also use method random, because the distance will generated randomly, right? So it depends on this one too. Maybe if we create the worker thread C with higher priority, then I set the priority for worker A and B for Ani and Budi as a 0. But when the worker thread C, when the Tony has a higher value from the random distance, so yeah, worker C still finish firstly, right? So it depends in the random variable too, not only in the priority, right? So it does matter. It's not a problem if we will try to run it. So yeah, wait. So what is the error?
By the way, sir, why you say it depends on our computer?
Yeah, it's because so how to say it? If we have a large CPU, because our CPU is more than 1 core, right? So we only create a very tiny object, right? So if we give if we give this object one priority, it's still, yeah, it's still the same with the time, because we have a lot of resource to run it at the same time. So it doesn't matter if we if our object is need a high resource on our computer. So yeah, it will, we can see the differences between the higher priority, the highest priority, and the lowest priority, because our computer has a more than one CPU. And I also know that maybe your computer have a high specifications for run a process. So it's not a problem if we give the priority as 1 or 10. Our computer will run it will run and the same priority, because we have a lot of resource to do so. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, our computer has a high resource for run a process. So our computer maybe does not see the differences between high priority and low priority, because we have a lot of resource. So yeah, we can run it at the same priority. So maybe if we run 1,000 objects at the same time, so we can see the differences. Okay. Okay. So we will run it again. Yeah. Actually, the priority is not from 0 to 10, but 1 to 10. The lowest priority is 1, and the highest priority is 10. So if we see in our worker project, the worker A and B should finish first than the worker C, right? Because I'm sorry, worker C should finish first than the worker A and B, but it depends in the yeah, the random variable that we get from the run method. But also as I was mentioning before, it depends in our computer too. So we cannot see the differences between worker A, B, and C. Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you want to try, you could create 1,000 object. Then you give the priority to one object as a 10. Then the other object you create 1 for that priority. So maybe you can see that. because it's very tiny process in our computer, right? So yeah, we cannot see the differences between that. Okay. Yeah, you need to implement the multi-thread in your program. Then we can continue to our multi-client connection. Okay. Maybe Adrian, have you tried to your NetBeans for the multi-thread object?
Yeah, I'm trying right now.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
thread the trip is like a timer.
Oh
It's
yeah.
timer.
Yeah, right. I forgot to explain that. Yeah, we'll move on to the worker. Yeah, the thread.sleep, it means we will give interval for the first looping and the second looping and the third looping. If we set it to 1000, it means 1000 milliseconds. If we convert it to the second, so it means 1 second. So from this code, every looping, the first looping, then the interval time with the second looping, it takes one second. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thread.sleep, it means, yeah, we will give the process the interval time between the first looping and the second looping. Okay. So after this, we will discuss about the implementation of multi-thread on the server side. So yeah, after this I will explain that, because we will make our server can handle more than one client. But you need to implement this first before we move on to the server class. Yeah, you can ask to me if you have any question. Okay, maybe I want to explain about the server first. So yeah, after the class the you can implement the multi-thread by yourself by watching my video. So we will not take a long time for this class. So okay, we will start for the multi-client, right? It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I also record this class, so you can see after this class, you can see in my YouTube channel, you can watch my video. So yeah, it's not a problem if you still not implement my code in your program. It's not a problem. You can watch from my video after this class. So we will move on to the okay, we will move on to the wait. We'll move on to the multi-client connection. So actually I will create a two project. The first object is a client, the second object is a server. So yeah, inside my server I have wait I have a model and server. Then inside my model, uh, I have a chat class because I want to create a chat program. Yeah, so the client can send the chat to the server, then the server also can send the message to the client. But actually, a server it can handle more than one client. So when the server run, it can handle more than one client. So if you maybe I will run my program first, so you will understand what I make. So yeah, wait, I will enable my database first. I will make sure that my database is run. Wait. Because I need a database for saving the history chat from the client.
So we also need to create a new database.
Yes, right. So I will show to you about the database, so you can see after this. Can you see my browser right now? What do you see right now?
Zoom.
Zoom. Oh, Zoom.
Yeah, we're gonna see your screen.
Oh, what about now? What do you see? Because I
Still not.
Huh?
Still not.
No.
No?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Because I use my another computer for the database, because I have a problem with the database in my computer. So yeah, I use my another computer. So yeah, we will wait until my PHP my admin show. It's take a long time. Yeah, I have a problem with my database. So yeah, maybe I will show to you about the chat class, because the chat class is represent the chat table inside my database, right? So yeah, inside my chat class I have three data members. Yeah, name, result, and stat. and this one is for just for connect to the database, right? And also this chat has it has a username, and it also has a chat. Yeah, wait, where is my data member?
The
It's
top
chat.
ent.id, the ent ID.
Yeah, but actually I also has the chat, right? Oh, in this one
Yeah.
I have IT, and also I have chat, and yeah, just two data member, IT and chat. But actually I also has another column in my chat table that was the time chat. So when the client send a message to the server. So yeah, I will, yeah, wait, I will explain to you about the database. So I have one, I have IT. You can see my screen right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I also have a chat. Chat mean, yeah, what what the message that the server sent to the what the chat is, what the message that the client sent to the server. And also I have time chat. Okay, time chat, it represent when the client send a message to the server, right? So that is the table of my that is the column of my table in my database, because I have a problem with my database. So I can show to you about the IR diagram of my table. So it's not a problem. So I will explain to you about my code, so you don't need to confuse about my database. We will wait until my database can show. So then I have three class inside my server: handle socket, main server, and server. So what is the function of each class? So I will explain to you. First of all, I have a server, right? So yeah, I will explain to you about the concept of the multi-client. I have a server. Wait. Oh, so in it I will. Okay. Wait. I cannot found the annotate. Yeah, now okay. Wait. Wait. I can found my pen in my Zoom. Maybe one of you can show to me how to, how to create uh, drawing in the screen. I cannot find my. Okay.
I think the UI is different there between Windows and.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a problem. See, okay, I will use
Windows.
this pen, my pen. Yeah, can you see my pen application?
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually I have a server right here, so I will call it a server. Then we also has a client, like this one. So every time when the server can handle more than one client, right? So I will show to you about my code. I have a three class inside my server that that are handle socket, main server, and server, right? So every time when the server receive connection from the client, it will be handled by by handle socket. Handle socket. As you can see, handle socket is this class, right? Then every time when the client, this is the client 1, client 2, and client 3, every time when the client connect to the server, it will be handled by handle socket. So I want to ask to you, what is the type of handle socket? Is it a thread object or not? Because it can handle more than one client, right? At the same time. So should we create the handle socket as a thread object or not? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think it should have. We should have thread in there. We should, yeah.
Yeah. So we should create this class handle socket as a thread object, right? So we will move on to the handle socket inside my program. So yeah, I create the handle socket as a thread object by using the extend thread, right? Okay, can you see it? Then every time when, like I was mentioning before, every time when the client connect to the server, it will be handled by handle socket, right? So when there is a connection from the client, then the server will create a handle socket object. Okay, so when the client wants to connect to the server, then it can connect successfully to the server. The server will create a handle socket, the first object of handle socket. Then when the clients 2 connect to the server and it connects successfully, then the server will create a handle socket object again to handle the client 2. Then so on and so on. If we move on again to our handle socket class, so as you can see right here, you don't need to confuse about the main server. We will skip this one. So you just need to see that the handle socket has a socket, and also it has a buffer reader and data output stream. Buffer reader for getting the message from the client, and data output stream for sending the message to the client. It's same with your previous project in your server side, right? But we will create a handle socket to handle one client, right? So every time when another client connect to the server, we will create a handle socket again. So you don't need to confuse about this one. So yeah, it's similar with your previous server, right? It has socket, buffer reader, and also data output stream. But what about the server socket? Do you see server socket inside the handle socket? Because like I was mentioning before, the server must the differences between the server and client. Server has a server socket, but the client doesn't has a server socket, right? So can you see the server socket inside the handle socket? Yes or no? No? No, right? So where is the server socket? Actually, the server socket is inside the main server. So yeah, we will move on to the main again. So the server, I will call the server. The server is represented by the main server. So this is the main server. So yeah, every time when the client connects to the server, first it will connect to the main server first, because it has the server socket, right? So I will, SS, it means server socket. When the client connect to the server, it will handle first by main server. As you can see right here, we will move on to the main server. It has socket incoming and server socket, right? Then it also has a release of handle socket. So anyone can explain to me why we should create a release of handle socket inside the main server? Yeah, you can think right now why we should create a handle socket, a list of handle socket inside my main server. Can you explain to me why we should create that? So you don't need
Because
to.
the
Yeah, Musyafa.
sorry,
Yeah, Musyafa.
first you can first I think first you want to say something.
No, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, I think because the handle socket
Hmm.
handles many clients,
Yeah.
so instead we should connect to handle socket to get the data client
Yeah.
in
Right.
the handle sockets.
Yeah, it's right because every time when the client connect to the server, it will be handled first by main server. Then it will create a handle socket object to handle the client one, right? Then when another client connects to the server, the main server will create another handle socket object to handle the client two, and so on and so on and so on. Then, yeah, as you can see in my code, you will see the handle socket clients. So this is the list of handle socket, right? So yeah, when the client is handled by the handle socket, then the handle socket will send the message and receive the message from the client, right? So that's why we create the buffer reader and data output stream inside the handle socket, not in the main server. Main server it just has a server socket just for open the connection for the client. Then when the client connects to the server, it will be handled by the handle socket, right? So yeah, that's why we create the buffer reader and data output stream inside the handle socket, not inside the main server class, right? Yeah, we will move on. Okay. Yeah, any question?
Yes. For
Yeah.
handle socket, so for one client we will create one socket.
Uh,
if
yeah. Mm,
if
mhm.
if one socket handle three clients, probably is it probably?
I'm sorry. What do you mean, Faros?
I mean, for example, if we have one client,
Mm-hmm.
so we will create one handle socket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
For example, so for each client we will create one socket, right?
Right.
One handle socket. For example, three client, and we will use one handle socket, only one handle socket, same handle socket.
No. If maybe the client one connect to the server, right? Then the server will create a handle socket object to handle client one. Then another client two, I give the name client two, connected to the server, then the server will create another handle socket object to handle that client, right? So that's why inside the main server, we should create a release of handle socket because yeah, one handle socket only handle one client, right? So inside the main server, it has many handle sockets. So yeah, I will uh, explain to you about the concept again. So inside the server, wait. So this is the main server. Then this is the handle socket. Yeah, handle socket. It depends how many clients that connect to the server. Yeah, inside the main server, every time when the client connect to the server, it will be handled by one handle socket, like this one. Okay, but we need just one server socket inside the main server. We don't need to create many server sockets. So one server socket can be used by more than one handle socket, right? Okay, you will understand when you see my code. So yeah, maybe from here, maybe any question? Not yet.
Not yet, sir.
That's all.
Okay. Then yeah, any question?
No, no.
No. Okay, so yeah, we will move on to the main server constructor. Inside the main server constructor, yeah, it's similar with your previous server. We will create the new server socket object for handle the client. Then we also need to initiate the release of clients, because the clients is the type of this clients is list of handle socket, right? So yeah, we need to initiate it. Then while true, it means it will run every time. While true, if there is a connection from the client, we will create a handle socket object right here. So handle socket HS equal new handle socket this 0 incoming and thread. So yeah, you will see what is the meaning of this parameter inside the constructor of the handle socket, right? Then, because the handle socket is a thread object, we need to call the start method. Every time when the client connects to the server, then it will be handled by the handle socket. Then the handle socket will run this object. So yeah, we will move on to the run method, because the handle socket is a thread object. So inside the handle socket, it must have the run method, right? This one. The run method is for a handle that client. Every time when the client send the message to the server will send the message back to the client. Okay, you don't need to confuse about that. So we will move on to the main server again. So yeah, that is the concept of this main server. Every time when the client connect to the server, it will be handled by the handle socket. So we will create a handle socket object. Then we will run that handle socket. Okay. Then we also need to save that object inside the clients. And the clients is the handle socket, release of handle socket, list of handle socket. So we will save it. We will save it to the clients release. Then, so what is the function of this one? Because when we save every object of handle socket, so we can get the list of client that connect to the server, right? So that is related with the broadcast method. So the broadcast method is for sending the message to all of client. So why we can send the message to all clients? So we need to save it. We need to create a list of handle socket. Then we can get the list of client that connect to the server. So that is related with the broadcast method, because we can broadcast the message to all of our client. Yeah, okay, it's not a problem. I will share my code, but you need to not copy paste from my code. So you need to code by yourself. But you can see my code, then you will understand why we should create this class and why we should create a broadcast method, and also the main server, the handle socket, and server. Right? You don't need to remember the code, but actually you need to understand the concept, right? So we will move on again to the pane. Yeah. The concept is like this. Okay. Maybe any question about the concept?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, I get it. Not yet for the concept.
Yeah, the concept. If you understand the concept, then you implement the code. You will understand 100%. So yeah, if we start from the code, we will not understand. We will have to understand it. So that's why I explain the concept first. Then you can implement the code by yourself. Yeah. After this, I will share my code. Then you need to code by yourself by watch my code. But you should not copy paste from my code. Okay. Okay, then we will move on again to this. Yeah. Then the chat is represent the table. So first you need to create a chat table inside your database. Then you create 3 columns of your table: username, chat and time chat. Yeah. Then yeah, there is no difference with the client. Yeah, it's because there is a problem with my database, so I can show to you. But yeah, we will try to run the server. Then I have run my server. Then I will run my client. Okay, yeah. First, because the server can handle more than one client, so I run my client again. Yeah, now I have two clients. So when the client run, it will get the previous message that can get the previous message from the database. So yeah, that's why there are a lot of messages inside the client. So maybe I give the name of this client as Adrian. Then this is Faros. Then Adrian send the message to I will click run another client again. Wait. So I have three clients that run at the same time. Then Mushafa send the greeting message to the Adrian and Faros, to all of the client that connect to the same server. Yeah. So Adrian will now the message from Mushafa, and also Faros now the message from Mushafa. So we will move on again to this concept. So we have one server. Wait. One server and three clients. Then I have also three handle socket, right? This is a client, 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 and client. This is handle socket, and handle socket. And also it has this is not the server but main server. Then every time when the client connects to the server, then the server will create a handle socket object, and it will run that handle socket object. Then inside the handle socket, it has, okay, I will move on to the code again. Inside the handle socket, it has broadcast, right? It has a broadcast method inside the handle socket. And also in main server, it also has a broadcast method, right? The same method, but the same method with the handle socket, but different implementation between broadcast in the main server and broadcast in the handle socket. So yeah, as you can see, this is in the main server class. As you can see right here, it will call all of the handle socket that already create in this main server. It will get all of the client that already connect to the main server, right? Because I have a looping to get every handle socket that already created before, as you can see like here. Then I will call the broadcast method inside that handle socket. So we'll move on to the handle socket. Inside the handle socket, it will send the message by using the write bytes, right, to the client. So we will move on again to the concept. So every time when the client send the message to the server, then the server will broadcast the message to all of the handle socket. So I will draw better. Yes. Handle socket, client, and main server, handled by every client, every handle socket. Then when the client send the message to the handle socket, then the handle socket will send the message to the main server, then it will broadcast to all of the handle socket, and so on and so on. So that's why when the Mushafa send the message to the server, then the server will broadcast the message to all of the other client. Okay, maybe you need to implement the code first, then you will understand 100%, because you need to understand first about the concept. If you have understand about the concept, then you will understand the code. Okay, so now I will give you my code. I will upload it on ULS, and you need to implement my code in your NetBeans until 10:40. Then you re-upload again to my to the ULS your project. So you need to maybe you need to create your database, and also you need to create your client. So the interface is not you don't need to create same interface with me. You can modify the interface. Then after that you need to upload it again to ULS, but not in 10:40. Maybe I will give you a time until tonight until 8 p.m. Okay, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, you just need to see my code, then you implement to your NetBeans, then you create your database, and also you need to create your own GUI for the client. So the implementation of the clients you can see in my code too. Then on Tuesday next week, we will discuss about your problem. Okay, and maybe you still don't understand about my code, you can ask to me. We will discuss about it, because after you implement the code, you will understand. And maybe if you don't understand, you can ask to me about your problem. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Any question? Then I will
Not
upload.
yet.
Yeah, not yet. I will
Not yet.
upload.
Yes, sir.
I will upload my code, and also I will give you the video. This video, the explanation of my code. I will upload it on YouTube too. So yeah, thank you for your attention. Then we will meet again
Yes,
on
sir.
Thursday. Okay. Okay. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.